Good morning everyone, I am Dr. Ankita Shaha. Today I will demonstrate the posterior compartment of the leg. The leg is subdivided into three compartments: anterior compartment, lateral compartment and posterior compartment. The posterior compartment is bounded posteriorly by the deep fascia of the leg, anteriorly by the interosseous membrane, in between the tibia and the fibula bone. The posterior compartment is subdivided by the deep transverse fascia into superficial and deep compartments. The superficial compartment consists of soleus, plantaris, medial and lateral heads of gastrocnemius. The deep compartment consists of four muscles. I have shown here only three. The muscles are flexure digitorum longus, flexure hallucis longus, in between them and deep to it tibialis posterior. Another muscle deeper to it is the popliteus muscle. Now let us see in the cadaver. For the dissection of posterior compartment, the first transverse incision is given at the junction of the upper 1/4 and lower 3/4 of the leg, the first incision. The second incision from the medial to lateral malleolus. The third incision is a vertical incision from the midpoint of first to the midpoint of the second. Now I have reflected the skin. When I will reflect the skin, I will get the superficial structures in the superficial fascia. The superficial fascia consists of the sural nerve. This is the sural nerve coming from the tibial nerve, termination of small saphenous vein, that is the terminal part of the small saphenous vein, and posterior cutaneous nerve of the thigh, that is posterior femoral cutaneous nerve of thigh. So these are the superficial structures. Coming to the deep fascia, the deep fascia has been removed, leaving behind a portion of deep fascia which is known as flexure retinaculum. This is the flexure retinaculum. In the lower part near the medial malleolus, there is a condensation extending from medial malleolus to the calcaneus bone. This is the band keeping the flexure tendons in position. Rest of the deep fascia has been removed to view the underlying structures. In the superficial compartment, there are three muscles. This is the medial head of gastrocnemius, this is the lateral head of gastrocnemius. The medial head and the lateral head unite to form one tendon. The next muscle beneath them is the soleus muscle. This is the soleus muscle. Another muscle along with the lateral head of gastrocnemius, this is the plantaris muscle. So we are getting the medial head of gastrocnemius, lateral head of gastrocnemius, soleus and the plantaris. If you look here closely, this is the plantaris. Now let us discuss about them one by one. Both the heads of gastrocnemius originates from the condyles of the femur bone. The medial head and the lateral head unite and they get inserted along with the soleus to form the tendocalcaneus tendon. This is the tendocalcaneus, also known as tendoachilles. The plantaris tendon is like a belly in the upper part and slender tendon in the lower part. It gets inserted along the medial margin of the tendocalcaneus tendon. These three muscles together acts as the plantar flexure of the foot at the ankle joint. Along with that, this gastrocnemius and soleus plays a major role in walking and running. All these muscles are supplied by the tibial nerve. The soleus muscle gets supplied by the soleal branch of tibial nerve. This is the tibial nerve. This is the soleal branch of tibial nerve. From its superficial surface, the tibial nerve, this is the main tibial nerve, it enters the posterior compartment of the leg by passing beneath the soleal arch of origin of the soleus muscle. The nerve running in the posterior compartment of the leg supplies the soleus from its deeper surface. Now let us come to the deep compartment muscles. The deep compartment muscles include the popliteus. This is the popliteus lying in the floor of the popliteal fossa. The next muscles include, this is the fibula bone. This muscle is the flexure hallucis longus. We can see the tendon here. This is the flexure hallucis longus. The next muscle that we can see here, this is the flexure digitorum longus. We can see this flexure digitorum longus tendon is crossing the tendon of tibialis posterior. The muscle in between the flexure digitorum longus and the flexure hallucis longus, this muscle is the tibialis posterior. The tendon of flexure digitorum longus cross the tibialis posterior from medial to lateral side. This was regarding the deep muscles. This flexure hallucis longus, after originating from the fibula bone, gets inserted into the distal phalanx of the great toe and helps in plantar flexion of the great toe. The flexure digitorum longus originates from the posterior surface of tibia below the soleal line, and it gets inserted into lateral foot toes and helps in plantar flexion of lateral foot toes. Coming to tibialis posterior, this tibialis posterior muscle originates from the interosseous membrane. The medial part of posterior surface of the fibula, lateral part of posterior surface of the tibia. This tibialis posterior gets inserted into the tuberosity of navicular bone, all the tarsal bones except the talus, and second, third and fourth metatarsal bones. It is a strong plantar flexure at the ankle joint. Now let us discuss about the neurovascular structure. Coming to the nerve first, this is the tibial nerve. It enters the posterior compartment below the soleal line. This tibial nerve gives various branches here, articular branches, muscular branches, and finally ends by dividing into medial and lateral plantar nerves. Coming to the vascular supply, the popliteal vessels, this is the popliteal vein and this is the popliteal artery. This is the popliteal artery. They also enter the posterior compartment of leg by passing beneath the soleal line. You can look here closely. This is the soleus muscle origin. They are passing beneath it. Now, once it reaches the lower border of popliteus muscle, it gets divided into anterior tibial and posterior tibial. The posterior tibial continues in the posterior compartment of the leg and finally gets divided into, you can look here, it gets divided into medial and lateral plantar arteries. It gives off various branches like circumflex, fibular, communicating branches, perforating branches, calcanean branch, but the most important branch it gives off is this peroneal branch. This peroneal branch goes to supply the peroneal compartment. This is the peroneal or lateral compartment of the leg. It runs within a fascia that lies between two muscles. There is a canal-like fascia. These muscles in between which it runs includes the flexure hallucis longus and the tibialis posterior muscle. This is the tibialis posterior, it runs between them, and finally terminate as lateral calcaneal branch. Now let us look at the relation. Look at this diagram. The neurovascular structures includes the posterior tibial artery, which is given off as a terminal branch of popliteal artery at the lower border of the popliteus. This posterior tibial artery, the main branch is the peroneal artery. The tibial nerve initially lies medial to the artery, then crosses the artery and comes to its lateral side. All the structures of the flexure compartment are held in place by the flexure retinaculum. The flexure retinaculum is a condensation of the deep fascia of the leg. The structures lying from medial to lateral side are medially tibialis posterior, then flexure digitorum longus, posterior tibial artery, tibial nerve, flexure hallucis longus. We can remember these structures by a mnemonic known as Tom, Dick and Harry. T for tibialis posterior tendon, then flexure digitorum longus tendon D, and A for anterior posterior tibial artery, then N for tibial nerve and H for flexure hallucis longus. Now let us look at the structures in the cadaver. This is the band shaped flexure retinaculum. I have cut it. Another part of deep fascia we can see here. This is the deep transverse fascia, which is separating the superficial compartment from the deep compartment. Now let us come back to the structures passing underneath the flexure retinaculum. From medial to lateral, there is the tibialis posterior, which is crossed superficially by flexure digitorum longus from medial to lateral side. There is the posterior tibial artery, tibial nerve, and this one is the flexure hallucis longus. So that was all regarding the posterior compartment of leg. Thank you.